What's up, you guys? It is Wednesday, which you know what that means. It is time for another recap. Oh my god. Dude, as I put on my Facebook page, 2 plot twists and the third episode, and it's only the third episode. Just, fucking wow, that's all I gotta say. Anyways, so if you haven't seen this, as I have said in the other ones, please do not watch this before you've watched the episode. Because I will tell you right now, obviously there are going to be spoilers. And I don't want you to get upset after I've mentioned that there are going to be spoilers. Because, oh my god, especially with this one. Okay, so let's get started before I get too sidetracked. So starting off, it picks up where they left off. As you guys remember, Rita, Brooke, Chet, and Ray were in one cabin. They were in the infirmary, and someone was banging at their door. And then, in one of the other cabins was Xavier, Montana, and, what's that guy's name? I keep wanting to say the jock dude, but I know I want to get his name right for once. What the hell is his name in this one? There it is, Trevor. Trevor is the jock dude, the older jock dude. Anyways, so Trevor, Xavier, and Montana are in one of the cabins having someone bang on their door. So I had said last time that I think that the Night Stalker was going to be banging on the door or the infirmary door. And I was right. So his name is Richard. Richard Ramirez. That's the character name. So Richard was banging on the infirmary door. And, well, as far as the other one, we'll come back to that one. Chet and Ray had this smart idea to get the table and block the front door. And, then, the banging stopped finally, and they're like, I don't hear anything, and, then Rita, which is the nurse, there's a reason why I say quotations, you'll see her momentarily, but anyways, so she goes to the window, they're like, we don't hear anything, maybe he walked away, and I'm sitting there thinking, y'all know damn well that's not what happened. So, anyways, so basically, she looked out the window and Richard busts through the window. And they all flip out. They're all running away. Blah, 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 blah. And, Ray, the black guy, was just talking about he's got to get out of here, and they're like, no, we should stay together, we should go try to find a way to get out together, and his attitude's like, yeah, fuck this place, I don't care, I'm out, I'm fending for myself. He's all about himself, not trying to be selfish, he just wants to get the fuck out of there, which I don't blame him. I'd want to get the fuck out too. So he goes to the front door, and he said something about the best 3 people or something escaping, and the front door busts open and Richard's there. And so the nurse Rita was just like, you heard what he said, the top 3 people. So that Brooke, her, and Chet run. And Richard attacks Ray. He lives, but then he escapes with Chet. And somehow, Chet and Ray go one way, Brooke and Rita go a different way somehow. And somehow, what's his... I keep forgetting their names. Chet and Ray end up in this pit that has stakes coming out of the ground. And Chet gets stuck on one of the poles when they fall in. And nothing happens to Ray, it's just Chet gets stabbed in his shoulder right here. And he's flipping the fuck out and blah blah blah. Meanwhile, Brooke and Rita are over by the cars and they're waiting for them, and Brooke's like, it's been so long, they should be here by now. And she's like, well, but Rita's like, well, it's probably because the boys' cabin is further away, it should be fine. So she's like, no, there's something wrong. And then you find out, and then like on the other side meanwhile on the other side with Xavier, Montana, and Trevor, they're all just, trying to not make a lot of noise and stuff, and they're all freaking out because someone's banging on their door. And I said last time I thought it was Mr. Jingles. Kind of, but no. Basically, whoever was at the door walks away. Trevor goes to the door and looks underneath. Montana's like, is anybody there? And Trevor's like, well, I don't see anybody. And so then he gets up, and then you see off in the distance in the window, you see Mr. Jingles. And Montana starts screaming and flips out, and then you see a bag of poo. You see Mr. Jingles throwing in a bag of poo. It's a flaming bag of poo. And Trevor stomps the shit out of it. Literally. Like, actually, literally. It's a flaming bag of poo. So he's stomping on it to put the fire out. And then they go outside, and you hear these 2 kids laughing. They're dressed like Jingles. So that's who it was that was trying to assault them, or scare them, or whatever. And they're like, what the fuck? What's, they don't understand what the fuck's going on. Basically the 2 young dudes were like, yeah, it's just a prank that we do every year for the anniversary of the massacres, blah 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 blah, scare people. And then right behind them is the real Jingles, and Xavier, Montana, and Trevor are like, oh shit, it's the real guy. And so the other 2 are just oblivious until one of them, Jingles grabs one of them and like kills him, and the 3 of them escape away, and there's like 1 kid left over, because there's supposed to be like 3 guys that are dressed like Jingles to scare people, but there was only 2 at the time, because the other one's off somewhere taking a piss somewhere. And so then, since the 3 of them escaped, he's left with this other young kid that's dressed like him, and he kills him. He slices his throat, cuts his ear, the drill, blah blah, puts it to his collection. And then it cuts to, I think it goes to Brooke and Rita. That's where it picks up, where she's like, it's been too long, you know, blah, 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 blah. And Rita's like, you're right. And she gives her the key. She goes, you go look for help. I'll let them know. Or I'm going to stay here and let them know, blah, 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 whatever. So right when Brooke gets ready to go in the car, Rita actually puts her hand over Brooke's mouth and pulls her back and injects her with something. So then Brooke gets woozy, and then she falls down. She's kind of like out of it because she's been not shot in the way that, you know, like a gunshot, but like a tranquilizer kind of shot or something. Whatever it is, she injected her with. And so then it cuts to commercial break. But when the commercial break comes back, it shows the lady from the last one that came to warn Margaret, the one that died that got the flat, basically. It shows it from like a week before. So she's in the mental facility, the office, basically, and she's talking to Rita. This is where we find out that she's not really Rita. She's not the real nurse. But anyways, they're talking about Jingles. She's saying something about no one can get to him. No one can actually make him talk. And she wants to know what's going on in his mind, why he does what he does. And I'm just going to call her Rita. Fake Rita. Fake Rita. Basically, she basically makes it to where she says she can crack Jingles and make him talk and, you know, talk to him, blah, 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 blah. So then she's talking to him, and she gets him to talk, of course, and then basically they team up together to get him out. Because she wants to study him and help him out. Girl, you know you want to kill people. You're just as bad as he is. Anyways, so she tells him what to do, which is what you saw. He faked hanging himself. He kills the guard. He escaped. He pushed the button. Then he left. He grabbed the bag that had the coat and stuff. And then he had the knife or whatever, and just made his way to the campsite. Because when she had him in the thing where she's questioning him, or throwing questions, whatever, she pushes the newspaper saying that the camp was open. And so he was saying that he's been wanting to end Margaret ever since that time frame. So basically he's getting a second chance. She wasn't in this one, but so basically it comes back to now. It comes back to the present, where the story is. And oh no, sorry, it's still, I forgot, it's still in the past, where like you find out that she's following this girl who's the real nurse. This is the real Rita. So she's following her to this gas station, and so she pulls up like kind of off to the side, whereas the girl is by the pump, and she's like, excuse me, do you have a problem? And fake Rita's like, what? Excuse me, I'm sorry. she's like, well, you've been following me since I got on this highway. And she's like, no, sorry, I'm actually on my way to this camp because, whatever. She just said she was on her way to the camp, whatever. And she's like, oh, so am I. I'm the nurse there. And she said something about she just has to use the restroom really quick. And she's like, maybe we can, maybe you could follow me there or whatever. And so she goes to the bathroom. She's like, would you mind, keep an eye on my car really quick, blah, 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 whatever. So she goes to the bathroom, and when she comes back out, if I'm not mistaken, fake Rita is gone. The car is gone, and so is she. So the real Rita was just like, it's kind of weird. Whatever. So she gets in her car and she's on her way. She's listening to Maneater. And come to find out, she sees in the back, she sees the fake Rita, the black lady. And then it cuts to another break. And then when it comes back, it shows Brooke and fake Rita again. And basically she drags Brooke off. And Then it shows Chet and Ray. And Ray's talking about, because she thought that, he thought that with the blood loss that Chet was pretty much dead and a goner. And, Ray pretty much admits that the reason that he left LA is because he's going to be in trouble. Because then it does a flashback to the year before where they had like some frat party and they had these guys that were doing the initiation thing. And this one Asian dude, they had him chug alcohol and this, that, and the other. And then come to find out the one Asian dude that he was talking to that was trying to get in, I think he had way too much to drink, so when he was trying to pull his pants up, he fell down the stairs. And so Ray thought he was dead. And so he was just like flipping out because he's like, he doesn't know what he's going to do. And so he takes him over to this cliff area, so he's going to kill him, basically, and make it look like he got in a car accident and died that way. But, come to find out, the Asian dude wasn't dead yet. So there was no way for him to actually pull the emergency brake to stop it. So he ended up... the Asian dude tried to grab onto his arm, and along with it, he accidentally pulled off Ray's watch. And down the car went over the cliff, and Ray was just flipping out. He didn't know what to do, and he just ran. And